Welcome to Proofless, the true crime podcast that delves into the shadows of America's most perplexing, unsolved mysteries. Cases where the evidence is elusive, the leads are maddeningly inconclusive, and the truth remains tantalizingly out of reach. I'm your host, Anna Berger, and this is the 7th episode of Proofless, where we explore stories that grip the heart, challenge the mind, and defy resolution. Today, we're diving into a chilling case from Austin, Texas, that blends the vibrancy of a college town with a dark tale of murder, betrayal, and unanswered questions. The 2005 murder of Jennifer Cave, a 21-year-old whose brutal death in a condo near the University of Texas campus led to a sensational trial, a convicted killer, and lingering doubts about whether the full truth was ever uncovered. This is a story of a young woman with big dreams, a night out that turned deadly, and a case that remains partially unsolved due to gaps in the evidence and whispers of additional involvement. So, settle in for a deep dive into a mystery that continues to haunt a family, a city, and those who seek justice. Let's set the scene. It's August 2005 in Austin, Texas, a city renowned for its live music, eclectic culture, and the sprawling campus of the University of Texas at Austin. Known as the live music capital of the world, Austin is a melting pot of students, musicians, tech workers, and locals, where 6th Street's bars pulse with energy and the university's Longhorn spirit binds the community. The summer of 2005 is warm and vibrant, with students returning for the fall semester and the city buzzing with festivals and nightlife. Amid this lively backdrop lives Jennifer Cave, a 21-year-old aspiring professional whose infectious smile and resilient spirit make her a beloved figure among her friends and family. Born on April 19, 1984, in Corpus Christi, Texas, Jennifer is the daughter of Sharon and David Cave with 2 sisters, Lauren and Vanessa, and a stepfather, Jim Sedgwick, who's been a steady presence in her life. Growing up on the Texas coast, Jennifer was a cheerleader, a lover of music, and a dreamer with a passion for fashion and helping others. She was known for her warmth, her ability to light up a room, and her determination to overcome challenges. Jennifer's early years were marked by a typical small-town upbringing, filled with school activities, family vacations, and a close bond with her mother, Sharon, a paralegal who instilled in her a love of learning and independence. After high school, Jennifer enrolled at Texas State University in San Marcos, about 30 miles south of Austin, with plans to study business or fashion. But her first year was rocky. She struggled with academics, partied too much, and dabbled in substance use, including marijuana and occasionally harder drugs. By 2004, she'd left Texas State, moved to Austin, and was working to rebuild her life. She landed a job as a receptionist at a law firm, Griffith & Griffith, in downtown Austin, where her charm and work ethic earned her a promotion to legal assistant. Jennifer was thrilled, seeing the role as a stepping stone to a career in law or fashion design. She was also reconnecting with her family, calling Sharon daily to share updates, and was excited about returning to college part-time. To those who knew her, Jennifer was a young woman turning a corner, full of promise, and ready to chase her dreams. On August 16, 2005, Jennifer is in high spirits. Her promotion has just been confirmed, a validation of her hard work and a sign that her future is bright. To celebrate, she decides to head to 6th Street, Austin's iconic nightlife district, a stretch of bars, clubs, and restaurants where college students and locals mingle under neon lights. She meets up with a friend, Michael Rodriguez, a former classmate from Corpus Christi who's also living in Austin. The two hit bars like Treasure Island and the Dizzy Rooster, sipping cocktails and soaking up the music. Around midnight, Jennifer runs into Colton Pitoniak, a 22-year-old University of Texas student she's known since 2003. Colton, born in Little Rock, Arkansas, to a wealthy family, is a finance major at UT's prestigious McCombs School of Business. With his boyish good looks, quick wit, and charm, Colton was once a golden boy, a scholarship student with a bright future. But by 2005, his life is spiraling. He's heavily addicted to cocaine and prescription pills, has been arrested for DUI and drug possession, and is dealing drugs to support his habit. His grades are slipping, and his once promising trajectory is in jeopardy. Jennifer and Colton have a complicated history. They met through mutual friends in Austin's party scene and briefly dated in 2004, a relationship that fizzled due to Colton's drug use and erratic behavior. Despite this, they remained friendly, occasionally hanging out in group settings. On August 16th, Jennifer and Colton reconnect at a bar, and witnesses later describe them as having fun, laughing, dancing, and drinking heavily. There's no indication of tension or conflict, just two acquaintances enjoying a night out. They're joined at times by other friends, but as the night progresses, they focus on each other, moving from bar to bar. Around 1 a.m. on August 17th, security footage and witness accounts place them leaving the Dizzy Rooster together, heading toward Colton's condo at the Orange Tree, a modern apartment complex at 2529 Rio Grande Street, just a few blocks from the UT campus. The Orange Tree is a sought-after address for students, with its sleek design, gated entry, and proximity to campus, but it's about to become the setting for a gruesome crime. What happens in the hours that follow is a mystery, shrouded in drugs, alcohol, and violence. Jennifer doesn't show up for her first day as a legal assistant on August 17th, a red flag for her boss, who knows her reliability. He calls her phone, but it goes to voicemail. Concerned, he contacts Sharon Cave in Corpus Christi, who immediately senses something is wrong. Jennifer is diligent about checking in, especially with her family. Sharon tries calling Jennifer repeatedly, but there's no answer. She contacts Jennifer's friends, who mention she was last seen with Colton Pitoniak. Sharon and Jim Sedgwick jump in their car and make the 3-hour drive to Austin, arriving at Jennifer's apartment on West 24th Street by mid-afternoon. Her car, a red Toyota Corolla, is parked outside, but she's not home. Her apartment is tidy, with no signs of a struggle, but her purse and phone are missing. Sharon's panic grows. She knows Jennifer wouldn't disappear without a word. Sharon and Jim head to the Orange Tree, hoping to find Jennifer at Colton's condo, Unit 88. They knock on the door, but there's no answer. The windows are dark, and the place feels eerily quiet. Sharon calls the Austin Police Department, explaining Jennifer's absence and her last known location, but the police can't enter without a warrant or clear evidence of a crime. Desperate, Sharon contacts Michael Rodriguez, who agrees to check on Jennifer. Michael, who's met Colton a few times, calls him, but Colton's story is vague. He claims he and Jennifer hung out, but he dropped her off at her apartment around 3 a.m. and hasn't seen her since. Michael, skeptical, recruits another friend, Ryan Martin, and they head to the Orange Tree. Finding the door locked, they notice an unlocked window and climb inside. What they discover is a nightmare. In the bathroom, Jennifer's body lies in the bathtub, dismembered. Her head and hands are missing, her body is partially wrapped in a garbage bag, and the scene is chaotic. Blood stains the tiles, a hacksaw, knife, and cleaning supplies are scattered nearby, and the smell of bleach is overwhelming. Michael and Ryan, horrified, call 911, and the police arrive within minutes. The Austin Police Department, under Detective Mark Gilchrist, launches a homicide investigation. The scene is gruesome. Jennifer's body shows a gunshot wound to the chest, likely the cause of death, and multiple post-mortem stab wounds. The dismemberment, her head and hands removed with a hacksaw, appears to be an attempt to conceal her identity or dispose of the body. The medical examiner later confirms Jennifer was shot with a .380 caliber handgun, with additional wounds inflicted after death, possibly to disfigure or dismember her. The condo is a treasure trove of evidence. A .380 caliber pistol, registered to Colton, is found in a drawer along with ammunition, a machete, and cleaning supplies, all bearing blood traces. Fingerprints and DNA link. Colton to the scene, but there's a critical wrinkle. Another set of fingerprints and DNA, found on the hacksaw and a bleach bottle, belonged to Laura Hall, a 22-year-old UT student, and Colton's on-again, off-again girlfriend. Laura Hall is a complex figure in the case. Born in Houston, Texas, she's a sociology major at UT, known for her intelligence but also her volatile personality. Friends describe her as obsessive about Colton. despite his drug addiction and abusive tendencies. Laura has her own struggles with substance use and a reputation for erratic behavior, including jealousy over Colton's interactions with other women. Witnesses place her at the orange tree on the evening of August 16th, possibly leaving before Jennifer arrived, but her exact timeline is unclear. The police learned that on August 17th, Colton and Laura fled Austin in his BMW, crossing the U.S.-Mexico border into Piedras Negras, Mexico, on August 18th. The Austin police, with assistance from the FBI and Mexican authorities, tracked them to a motel, where they're arrested on August 23rd. Colton is charged with murder, while Laura faces charges of tampering with evidence and hindering apprehension. Both are extradited to Austin, setting the stage for a case that will grip the city and beyond. The investigation delves into the events of August 16th to 17th. Detectives reconstruct the night through witness statements, bar receipts, and security footage. Jennifer and Colton were seen drinking heavily, tequila shots, beers, and possibly cocaine, at multiple 6th Street bars. They left the Dizzy Rooster around 1 a.m., likely heading to Colton's condo to continue the party. The police theorize that an altercation occurred in the early morning hours, possibly fueled by drugs, alcohol, or a personal dispute. Colton's condo shows signs of a struggle: overturned furniture, blood splatter in the living room, and a broken lamp. The gunshot wound suggests Jennifer was killed quickly, likely between 2 and 4 a.m., but the dismemberment and cleanup took hours, indicating a panicked attempt to cover up the crime. Laura's involvement is murkier. Her DNA on the hacksaw and bleach bottle suggests she helped clean the scene, but whether she was present for the murder is debated. A neighbor reports seeing Laura and Colton outside the condo around 8 a.m. on August 17th, loading trash bags into his BMW, which aligns with their flight to Mexico later that day. Colton Petoniak's background adds layers to the case. Raised in an affluent Little Rock family, he was a high achiever in high school, earning a scholarship to UT. But his college years were marked by a descent into addiction. Friends say he was dealing cocaine and prescription drugs, using his condo as a hub for parties and deals. His relationship with Jennifer was platonic by 2005, but some speculate she may have owed him money or been caught in a drug-related dispute. Laura Hall's role is equally complex. Her obsession with Colton was well known. She wrote him love letters, ignored his infidelity, and was seen arguing with him over other women. Some witnesses claim Laura bragged about helping clean up a mess after Jennifer's death, a statement she later denied. The police explore whether Laura was jealous of Jennifer, but there's no evidence of prior conflict between the two women. The trials, beginning in January 2007, are a media circus. Colton's trial comes first, prosecuted by Bill Bishop, a seasoned Travis County Assistant District Attorney. The evidence is damning. The murder weapon is Colton's, the crime occurred in his condo, and his fingerprints are on the gun and hacksaw. Blood evidence confirms Jennifer was shot and dismembered there. The prosecution argues that Colton, high on drugs and alcohol, killed Jennifer in a fit of rage, perhaps over a drug debt, a rejected advance, or an argument that escalated. The dismemberment and flight to Mexico, they say, show consciousness of guilt. Colton's defense, led by Sam Bassett, paints a different picture: a tragic accident by a young man too intoxicated to form intent. They argue the gun went off during a struggle, possibly as Jennifer tried to leave, and Colton, in a panic, attempted to dispose of the body. The defense highlights his addiction, suggesting diminished capacity. After a week-long trial, the jury convicts Colton of murder on January 29, 2007, sentencing him to 55 years in prison. He's eligible for parole in 2033 at age 50 and is currently incarcerated at the Alfred D. Hughes Unit in Gatesville, Texas. Laura Hall's trial follows in February 2007, and it's equally contentious. Charged with tampering with evidence and hindering apprehension, she's accused of helping Colton clean the crime scene and flee to Mexico. Her DNA on the hacksaw, bleach bottle, and a trash bag is central to the case, as is the neighbor's testimony about seeing her with Colton the morning after. Prosecutors argue Laura was a willing accomplice, driven by her obsession with Colton to cover up a murder. Her defense, led by attorney Joe James Sawyer, claims she was manipulated by Colton, a charismatic but abusive figure who coerced her into helping. They argue Laura didn't know Jennifer was dead until she arrived at the condo on August 17th, and her actions were driven by fear and loyalty. The jury convicts her, sentencing her to 5 years for tampering and 1 year for hindering, served concurrently. In 2009, her conviction is overturned due to ineffective counsel. Her attorney failed to present key witnesses who could corroborate her story. A retrial in 2010 results in a reduced sentence of 1 year, with time served, and Laura is released. She moves to Houston, largely disappearing from public view, though rumors persist that she knows more than she's admitted. The conviction of Colton Petoniak brings some closure, but the case remains in the proofless realm due to unresolved questions. Was Laura Hall more involved than the courts determined? Her fingerprints on the hacksaw and alleged boasts to friends about cleaning up suggest she may have been present during or shortly after the murder. Some investigators believe a third person was involved, citing unaccounted-for DNA traces in the condo, a partial profile on a knife handle that doesn't match Colton, Laura, or Jennifer. The profile is too degraded for a full match, but it fuels speculation about a drug associate or accomplice. The .380 caliber gun, while linked to Colton, shows ballistics inconsistencies, raising doubts about whether it was the murder weapon. The missing head and hands, never recovered, add to the mystery. Were they disposed of to prevent identification, or do they hold clues to another perpetrator? The motive remains elusive. The prosecution's theory of a drug-fueled rage is plausible, but lacks hard evidence. Jennifer's toxicology report shows alcohol and traces of cocaine, but nothing suggesting a major dispute. Some speculate a romantic angle. Colton's history with Jennifer might have sparked jealousy in Laura, though no witnesses confirm tension between them. Others point to a drug deal gone wrong, given Colton's role as a dealer. Austin's drug scene in 2005 was thriving, with cocaine and prescription pills circulating among students. A friend of Colton's later told police he owed money to a supplier, raising the possibility that Jennifer was caught in a transaction gone awry. Without a confession or additional evidence, these theories remain speculative. Jennifer's family, led by Sharon Cave, becomes a relentless force for justice. Sharon quits her job as a paralegal to focus on the case, attending every court hearing and advocating for victims' rights. She and Jim Sedgwick found the Jennifer Cave Foundation, a nonprofit that supports families of violent crime victims and raises awareness about campus safety. The Caves are haunted by the brutality of Jennifer's death and the possibility that others involved escaped accountability. Sharon tells Dateline in 2008, "Colton pulled the trigger, but I'll never believe he acted alone." The family offers a $10,000 reward for information, leading to additional arrests, still active as of July 2025, per A Texas Monthly Report. Lauren and Vanessa, Jennifer's sisters, channel their grief into advocacy, speaking at schools about the dangers of substance use and toxic relationships. The case captivates Austin and beyond, becoming one of the city's most infamous crimes. The 2020 podcast Darkness, hosted by former UT students Tinu Thomas and Haley Butler, brings renewed attention, featuring interviews with Sharon, Detective Gilchrist, and Jennifer's friends. The podcast delves into the cultural context, how Austin's party scene, fueled by drugs and alcohol, created a dangerous underbelly beneath its laid-back image. Online, Reddit's Unsolved mysteries and web sleuths buzz with theories, with many users convinced Laura Hall was complicit in the murder itself. Posts cite her erratic behavior post-arrest. She reportedly sent threatening emails to friends and bragged about her role, and questioned why her sentence was so light. Others speculate about a wider drug ring, noting Colton's connections to dealers in Austin and Little Rock. Some even suggest a link to other Austin crimes, like the 2006 murder of Jennifer's friend, Jennifer Narvaez, though no evidence connects them. The case's impact on Austin is profound. The Orange Tree condo complex, once a desirable student housing option, becomes a grim landmark, with residents moving out in droves after the murder. UT implements new safety measures, including increased security patrols and awareness campaigns about off-campus risks. The case sparks debates about drug culture on college campuses, with local leaders calling for stricter enforcement. Sharon Cave works with Texas lawmakers to pass the Jennifer Cave Act in 2007, which strengthens penalties for tampering with evidence in homicide cases, inspired by Laura Hall's light sentence. Advances in forensics keep hope alive. In 2023, the Austin Police Cold Case Unit retests DNA from the condo using genetic genealogy, hoping to identify the unknown profile on the knife handle. The effort, supported by companies like Parabon Nanolabs, yields no matches, but the Caves push for broader testing in national databases like CODIS. The missing head and hands remain a focal point. Some believe they were dumped in a landfill or nearby Lake Travis, but extensive searches in 2006 and 2015 found nothing. The Austin police, under pressure from the Caves, reclassify the case as partially unsolved in 2024, acknowledging the possibility of additional perpetrators. Sharon tells Austin American-Statesman in 2025, "We have justice for Jennifer's death, but not the whole truth. Someone else knows something." The emotional toll on the Cave family is immense. Sharon, now in her 60s, channels her grief into advocacy but struggles with the loss of her daughter, whose vibrant spirit was extinguished too soon. Lauren, a nurse, and Vanessa, a teacher, honor Jennifer's memory by volunteering with the foundation. Jim Sedgwick, a steady support, accompanies Sharon to court hearings and search efforts. The family's home in Corpus Christi is filled with photos of Jennifer, a constant reminder of their mission. Friends like Michael Rodriguez, who found her body, grapple with trauma, with Michael seeking therapy to cope with the memory. The case resonates in true crime circles for its unanswered questions. Why were Jennifer's head and hands never found? Was Laura Hall a passive accomplice or an active participant? Who does the unidentified DNA belong to, and could it point to a third person in the condo that night? The lack of a clear motive, drugs, jealousy, or something else, keeps the case proofless, a mystery with pieces that don't fully fit. Online sleuths propose theories: a hit ordered by a drug supplier, a cover-up by Colton's wealthy family, or even a serial killer targeting UT students, though no evidence supports these. The Darkness podcast, in a 2023 update, interviews a former Orange Tree resident who claims to have heard screams from Colton's condo that night, but the tip is too vague to verify. The Jennifer Cave case has left a lasting mark on Austin. 6th Street, while still a nightlife hub, is now viewed with caution by students, and parents warn their kids about the dangers of off-campus apartments. The case has also fueled discussions about addiction, with Colton's descent into drugs serving as a cautionary tale. Sharon speaks at universities, urging students to seek help for substance issues and avoid toxic relationships like the one between Colton and Laura. The Jennifer Cave Foundation hosts annual vigils in Austin, drawing hundreds who light candles for Jennifer and other victims of violence. As of July 2025, the case remains active, with the Austin police pursuing new leads through forensic advancements. The Caves hope that genetic genealogy, improved DNA databases, or a witness coming forward could finally reveal the full story. The $10,000 reward stands, and Sharon remains resolute, telling Texas Monthly in 2025, "Jennifer deserved better, and will keep fighting until every piece of this puzzle is found." The case, with its blend of solved and unsolved elements, embodies the proofless ethos, a tragedy that offers partial closure but leaves shadows of doubt. That's all for the 7th episode of Proofless. Jennifer Cave's murder is a story of loss, resilience, and a family's unyielding quest for the whole truth. If you have information, contact the Austin Police Department or visit jennifercavefoundation.org. Share your thoughts on our website or social media, and join us next time for another journey into the unknown. Until then, keep searching for answers.